So this is a short video showing you the basics of using Excel in your work. We will be using it a lot and you will develop the skills very easily to do this. What I would say is when you're first starting, use a computer to use Excel rather than trying to do it on your tablet or your iPad. It's much easier to do it on a desktop computer, especially while you're learning to use it. And we've got computers in the building where you can do that. So I'm just going to open Excel. And this is part of your Office 365 package. This is how you've been accessing free Word through the university. And it's a great piece of software. You can make spreadsheets, it can do calculations for you, it can produce graphs. This will be just looking at how to produce a graph and a table from Excel. We'll look at other advanced skills later on. So we have data for our protein lab that we did together. And you made a graph in a Word document or on a piece of paper. I'm going to put some class data into Excel. Now, on Excel, each square or rectangle is called a cell. And you can see their numbers. This one here is C2, for example. It doesn't matter where you start working in them. And the data we collected this week, we had percentage protein content. And you'll notice that all those words don't fit into that square. And if that stresses you out, you take your cursor, double click, and the square gets bigger. The other one, we had time in seconds. And again, I want to make that square bigger. So get your cursor here, and you can double click. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% protein. Don't put X and Y in yet. And I'm going to add the times in. Just got them written down here. So we had 52, 87, 116, 5. So we have our data there. Now, part of the assignment to do this, and it doesn't count towards your final mark, is to make a table of data. And you can do that in Word, but Excel does it for you. You can just make it look more like a table. So at the moment, it doesn't look great. But if I click and highlight these cells, I can go in, and if we use this function here, this will put some borders. So it's looking a bit more like a table. And I might find that I would like my titles here to be in bold. So just like you do in Word, make that bigger. I might want my two columns to be the same size. So you click and drag, and then you can pull, and it will make them the same size. Maybe I want to put my writing in the middle. Again, you can highlight just like you do in Word, and I have got a beautiful table. And then what you do is you select your table, copy. So I'm going to copy that, and then you can paste it into whatever document you want. I've provided you with a document to use on the assignment. So if I open up my document, which I've saved, here we go, on my screen, it says, I'll just make this bigger for you, insert your table of data here, make sure the table has a title. So I would go in and paste my table in. Beautiful. Now it says make sure your table has a title, and it's always it's something we do have to work on. So table to show, and you'll write a nice title. Now you can just, as you've been doing in study skills, you can just do a little bit of formatting to make it look nice. And that's the first part of your assignment done. You'll notice it asks you to insert a graph of the data. Same graph we made in class. Your absorbance units might be a little bit different. I think in class, a lot of us have been doing it to 0.35. And it says to give your graph a title. And I know we've made a graph in the class on paper, but Excel can do it so much quicker for you. So if we go back to Excel here, we are going to now tell Excel to make us a graph. So you highlight the data you want to make a graph, and you're going to insert a graph. So you go up to insert up here and click, and there's loads of different types of graphs. Now the trick here is we're doing a line graph, but don't click here. This line graph will give you something crazy. Always does. Don't ask me why. What we do is we insert a scatter plot. And when you insert a scatter plot, you get a beautiful graph. Again, don't ask me why, but scatter plot is the way forward. Now, if we look at this graph, it's beautiful, but we talked about in class how we wanted to have, I'm just making it a bit small so it fits on my screen, how we wanted to have labels and a lovely title. So you just click in the box, highlight the text, and you write in calibration curve to show. You have to write your own title, like that. Now we want to label our X and Y axis as well, and Excel will do this for us, or we have to write it in, but we'll put it in. Now what we're adding in here is called a chart element. Chart element. And so that's what we need to add in. And so we click on the graph, and there's different ways to do this. So the easiest way is you find the little plus here. And it tells us we've already got axes and grid lines and a title. We just want to add in titles here. And then we can come in. Again, we then edit what we've got written here. I've just moved it a little bit, didn't need to. And we'd put in percentage protein content. And then the y-axis was time in seconds. Beautiful graph there. Now, sometimes we might want to add in a line of best fit or a trend line. And some of you were doing that in the class. Excel can do it for you. So plus, and you go down to trend line, and it adds it in. So you don't have to stress. You'll notice compared to the graph paper we were looking at in class, this is quite a big square, 4 to 5, there's no extra grid lines in there. So we can also add some more grid lines, some more graphs lines to it. You'll see grid lines are actually highlighted here. But we wanted to add some more in. And the way to do that is, again, in chart elements, you can notice there's a little arrow here. And you can just go in and click what you want. And you've now got much more graph paper. So easier when we're reading our calibration curve, much easier to study that. You can also add chart elements up here as well. Same idea. If at any point you get stuck on Excel, so if you forget how to add a trend line, type it into the search box. It's really good. Really, really good way of doing that. So don't forget to do that functionality. Once you're happy with your graph, same as before, we can copy our graph. Hopefully that copied. And then we move into the document. And then we can go in and in the appropriate place, paste our graph. And you can then change the size of it if you want to make it bigger. And then you check through, have I got all these things? Yes, I've got a title. I mean, it just says calibration curve to show, but you will have a better title. And then you've done that part of it too. The last thing to do is to work out X and Y using the calibration curve. So from the data I've got from this class, we said X was 122 seconds. And we said Y was 255 seconds. And it wants you to put your estimate of protein concentration here. So if we do 122, now I'm just making this bigger because I want to get my graph nice and big. Like this. Oops, not like that, like this. So we've got our graph here. Now we want to estimate where 122 is. And what you need to do is find 122 seconds on your y-axis. So 120 is here. It's about here. I'm a bit wobbly. I'm drawing it with a mouse pad. And what we can do is draw the line across. Oh my goodness, that is the worst straight line I've ever drawn. I'm embarrassed by it. Completely embarrassed by it. I'm going to cheat and use Zoom to draw me a straight line. That's better. So you draw your straight line. I'm going to go to my trend line like this. And then I'm going to read down to the y-axis, x-axis, sorry. So let's draw me another straight line. So we're going down here. And then the straight line then disappears because Excel, Zoom is like enjoying messing with me. No. So I'm going to draw a straight line. Oh no, it's all gone horrible now, guys. Let me move it. Okay. Draw a straight line. Apparently, I can use Excel, but drawing a straight line is completely beyond my skill set today. Let's try again. Last try. Straight line down, yes, like this. And then you read where that is. So this is 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. So this is about maybe 2.45% protein for X. And then I could go in and write that in the table. Save that document, and then you would upload it to the assignment on campus to get your mark. Don't expect to be perfect at Excel straight away. It's a work in progress, and we will develop these skills together, and I'll help you.